One of the biggest mistakes leaders make is assuming that everyone responds to change in the same way. They don't. In my experience, during change, people have a tendency to respond in one of two ways. Some people become fear-based. They become cautious. They withdraw. They become less likely to take risks, share ideas. Their brain is focused on one question: how do I protect myself? Other people move towards growth. They're curious, they ask questions, they focus on possibilities instead of problems. Their brain is focused on a completely different question: how do we make this work? Now, people tend to move between fear-based behaviors and growth-oriented behaviors, and that's why leadership is so important. Leaders don't just manage tasks, they influence in which direction people move. Transformation doesn't fail because of strategy. It fails because people don't feel safe enough to change. When fear becomes stronger than trust, execution suffers. Innovation slows, communication weakens, people protect themselves, trust erodes, performance declines. The solution is for leaders to build psychological safety, to create the conditions for people to want to speak up, adapt, and perform. During change, people don't need a perfect leader that has all the answers. What they need is someone who can create a culture where they feel safe to execute. How do high-performing leaders build psychological safety? First, they reduce uncertainty. When people lack information, the brain naturally fills in the gaps. People start to create their own narratives about what's going on, what changes are happening, how will it impact me? During times of change, high-performing leaders normalize learning. They become role models by learning new information, asking questions, reflecting on whether or not something is working without shame. Third, you want to respond calmly to mistakes. You, as a leader, want to act as an investigator instead of a judge, showing curiosity when one of your people makes a mistake. You want to invite every voice. Now, with that, we have to consider our own level of emotional intelligence. Look around the room. Read body language. Read the room before asking people to contribute. Recognize that people communicate and process things differently. Create multiple ways to share ideas. How else do high-performing leaders create psychological safety? Well, they reinforce purpose. It is a psychological fact that during times of change, people naturally become anxious and they tend to focus inward. When you reinforce purpose, you take them outside of themselves. Remind them why their work is important and impactful to the community, to the clients that are served. Reward honesty instead of perfection. People are not going to be honest if they think that you are expecting perfection at every stage. The quality of your leadership will never exceed the quality of your response to change. This week, you'll face uncertainty somewhere as a leader. And in that moment, I want you to ask yourselves this one question. Am I responding from fear, or am I responding by choice?